to this, the 10th and final video in this series of 10 on how to improve your mental health. These series of 10 videos on what is mental health and how to improve it form the very basis of what I refer to as mental health awareness. And that is a quality that I would have you carry with you all the time. Mental health awareness. Today we're going to look at what I choose to call the art of living. That is the application of these principles in everyday life. It's one thing to have the knowledge of what mental health is and how to improve it, but you've really got to apply it once you have accomplished it. And I want to point out some of the ramifications of that now. The art of living calls for a constant, if not a constant, a consistent examination of your own mental health. And it's the relationship, and thereby the relationship to each of the four inborn intentions. The most important quality of your mental health that you can possibly engage in, the most important thing for you to remember is your relationship to your own self-concept. What is your self-concept? It is entirely possible for you to have a totally complete, unaltering, unwavering, permanent, positive concept of yourself because you have human dignity. It is entirely possible that you have suffered losses, you have failed to accomplish, loved ones have departed or passed away. You may even have committed acts that you're not proud of, and society might have decided that you should not even be allowed to roam freely the streets. It doesn't matter. When you understand that your human dignity, yourself, does not depend on any behavior or any belief that you hold about yourself, when your self-concept is such that it is independent of any belief and rests solely on the fact that you have human dignity, whether you accept it or not, whether you believe in it or not, whether you are aware of it or not, you have human dignity. And it is permanent, it is unwavering, and it will be there as long as you exist. And having this rock-solid self-concept gives you the rationale, the meaning, the way of building or rebuilding a positive self-concept. You can throw aside the bad feelings about yourself because of what you've done or what you've lost or what you haven't achieved. When you understand that you are perfectly okay as a human being, a worthwhile human being with human dignity, simply defines you. Nothing else is necessary. I am a worthwhile human being with human dignity. That said, however, you cannot relate positively to the other three inborn intentions perfectly. Freedom of choice, sense of accomplishment, and love. Life is just too complex. There are too many variables. There is too much competition and fighting amongst people. Too many alternate truths to be understood, respected, or rejected for anyone to believe totally, unequivocally in freedom of choice, sense of accomplishment, or love. Nevertheless, the art of living requires you, calls on you to do the very best that you possibly can to bring your basic beliefs into consistency with those three inborn intentions. Just be aware that it's not going to be possible to do so perfectly. Be okay with falling short, but be careful about where you make your compromises. You can do so by necessity, but you don't have to compromise yourself, and you never have to compromise your own human dignity. The art of living involves improving your physical health. When you have a healthy respect for yourself, when you believe in your own human dignity, you will automatically practice behaviors that are consistent with a good diet, adequate rest, and plenty of exercise. These are givens. They will just be a part of your natural makeup when you have a positive self-concept. In addition to that improves your physical health, accomplishing these three things, diet, rest, and exercise, you get a good sense of accomplishment from it. That's a little side benefit, and that's a good thing too. Just as important, with healthy mental health, you experience less stress and anxiety. Since stress is a major contributor to poor physical health, better mental health equates to better physical health. The art of living involves accomplishing to the best of your ability. You will do so because you will have a realistic evaluation of your own capabilities, and you will be free to exercise those capabilities unencumbered by mindsets, your own basic beliefs, negatively in respect to what you can accomplish. When you believe in yourself and you believe in your ability to accomplish, things will come far, far easier. And as an aside to accomplishment, perseverance necessary for success comes a great deal easier for those with healthy mental health. The art of living involves choosing freely between available alternatives. The mentally healthy mind is far less susceptible to the pressures and manipulations and influences of others, freeing you to make the choices that are in your own, your family, and society's best interest. There is a significant danger in not making choices. If you are apathetic and uncaring and unthinking and do not critically examine what's going on about you, you have given up control of your life to those who would be more than happy to take advantage of your passivity. So making choices is important. Not making choices renders you vulnerable to the manipulations of others. You are not in control of your own life if you are not proactive in examining and making the choices that you have available. You may have the idea and sense that you have few choices to make, but you can always make a choice if you're willing to do the thinking and to pay the price in money, effort, time, and accept the consequences. You can always make a choice. The art of living involves balancing the limited resources that you have with unlimited demands. You simply do not have enough time or money or energy to totally satisfy all of the demands and opportunities and obligations that you have. So balancing these is very important. When the pressures mount, it's time to take stock and to consider how you are going to allocate your resources between the different demands that are placed on you. What to avoid is focusing on one to the exclusion of the other, or to the point where the other is irreparably compromised. Balance is very important in life and in managing your resources. The art of living involves developing and maintaining good to excellent personal relationships. And these are enhanced when you practice empathy and good communication skills, respect for others. When you pay attention to and respect the inborn intentions of others with whom you disagree, whose basic beliefs are not consistent with your own, when you respect the human dignity of those people, then communication and relationships can be improved over what they would be otherwise. Respect for human dignity, even when you disagree with someone else, enhances relationships. The art of living involves developing and enhancing and experiencing your spirit. We humans have a quality to our lives that is separate and beyond our thoughts and our feelings and behaviors. Perhaps you experience this when you see a beautiful scene, a mountain or the oceans, and their wonder and awe. We thrill to the sound of beautiful stirring music or to the words of a masterful orator such as the Gettysburg Address by Abraham Lincoln. Many people will find hope and comfort in their own religious beliefs and in the spirit of their attachment to God as they perceive it. And certainly love adds a dimension to our life that is indescribable, it cannot be understood until it is experienced. Spirit certainly adds a dimension of quality and value and uniqueness to our lives. We would not be humans without our spirit. Now then, shifting gears just a bit, the art of living places a special responsibility on you toward those within your own sphere of influence. For some, the opportunity to influence others in the direction of healthy mental health and mental health awareness abound. It just comes as a part of who they are and what they do, such as parents. Parents have the opportunity and the obligation to instill and provide opportunities for their children to get in touch with, to experience, to develop, to become aware of their own human dignity from the very beginning. There may not be a more important task of a parent than to influence their children to believe in themselves. If that were the case, the world would be an entirely different place. But pay attention to it, parents. It's a tremendous opportunity and obligation for you. If you are an educator, a teacher, a professor, it is entirely possible that you can influence your students by working mental health awareness into your curriculum. If you are a mental health professional, you can, upon realizing that mental health is far more than simply the absence of mental illness, you can work mental health awareness into your treatment protocols well beyond assessment, diagnosis, and treatment of mental illness. Extremely important obligation to see that your clients, assist your clients in appreciating their own mental health after their mental illness or mental disturbance, mental problems have been resolved, ameliorated, or brought under control. If you are an addictions professional, you can make sure that mental health awareness is at the very core of every single solitary recovery program. A recovery program without mental health awareness, without healthy mental health on the part of your clients and patients is going to be suspect and at risk. If you're not in a position to actively promote mental health awareness in others, and many people will not be, you can be influential in this regard wherever you are and in whatever you are doing. You can demonstrate healthy mental health to your friends and your family and to society simply by how you live your life. If you are a business owner or entrepreneur, you can market your products without being greedy. If you are an advertiser, you can do so without resorting to the tactics of fear. Instilling fear in order to sell a product is an insult to the human dignity of an unsuspecting client and really needs to be avoided to be a mentally healthy advertiser. If you are an office holder or an official or a candidate for office, you can conduct your affairs so that the best interest of your clients, your constituents, are respected rather than your own need to be elected or re-elected. Who is to be served? Yourself or your constituents? Finally, there is one overarching benefit of practicing the art of living, and that is happiness. When you have a rock-solid self-concept, and when you practice positive relationships, love relationships, when you accomplish to the best of your ability, and you are free to make choices, you will be far happier than you would be otherwise. Healthy mental health is a precursor to happiness. One follows the other. And as you well know, at the end of each one of these videos, I have given you an assignment. No less so today in this, the final one of this series. Your assignment today is to go back over the notes that you have taken and recorded and placed in a file throughout this series. Look them over. Trace the evolution of your thinking over this series as you have progressed from one to the other. What have you learned? What do you still need to learn? What is still, if anything, hopefully there will be very little, what else is problematic for you? What else do you need to know, to understand, to practice the art of living? There must be there must be more to it than simply watching the videos. It needs practicing that art of living, and that's your assignment, of course. Whenever you face problems in the future, and you certainly will, take time for introspection. That is, look within yourself at your own basic beliefs, how they might be contributing to whatever problems that you are facing. Don't automatically dismiss responsibility for what's happening around you to the outside world. Much of it will be, of course, but do you have a role in that? By introspection and honestly looking at yourself and evaluating your own belief systems, you may be able to make some improvements that would otherwise escape you if you simply laid responsibility for everything on the outside world. Self-only responsibility is an important aspect of all of this. And yes, part of your assignment is that when you are comfortable with your own mental health It's time to share it with others, share the concepts with others, whether you do so actively in one of the ways that we have mentioned, or passively simply by the way you live your life. It is time to practice the art of living and demonstrate it to the world. Okay, folks, it's time for me to part. As you know, with each one of the videos, I have suggested at the end that there is something for you to remember, something I would like for you to remember. And this final one is, remember that when you improve your own mental health, you have made the world just a bit better place. Thanks, and bye for now.